If you will state your name and give the spelling of it, please.
Okay, Joe, Joe Williams, Williams.
Okay. And, sir, you are currently running for the Osage County Commissioner seat, correct?
Yeah, ran for Osage County Commissioner.
Okay. And formerly you were a city councilman of Tulsa, correct?
Yeah, I was District 1 City Councilor in Tulsa from 1994 to 2004.
Okay. So tell us a little bit today. Of course, President Trump, he's coming into town. He'll be here in a couple of hours. What are some of your thoughts on the president's visit coming here, and specifically about some of the issues that have been addressed with his attention toward Juneteenth and also with Greenwood itself? So
I'm very disappointed he's coming. I think it's disgraceful. The first thing I'll say is that, he's bringing a health hazard to our community. We've got tens and tens of thousands of people coming in town. They've already said they're not going to wear masks, they're not going to social distance, and they can't social distance inside of the Bank of Oklahoma Center. Mm-hmm. And our elected officials, I'm not talking about our African American elected officials, but our governor, our U.S. senators, they're talking about, well, it's their choice if they want to wear masks, if they want to social distance. But we don't have a choice. If they get sick, mm-hmm. and they come back out in the public and make other people sick or kill people, what choice do we have?
Right.
So they're a health hazard, number one. Also, Donald Trump is being very anti-African American, Latino, LG, BTO. Mm-hmm. He just seems to be against everybody except for his base. And coming here on the Juneteenth weekend, when we're celebrating our freedom from slavery, and coming to a city where we went through the worst race massacre in the history of this nation, where they actually had people in planes dropping bombs, killing approximately 300 people, destroying businesses of all sorts, destroying people's homes, looting. To me, it's just disgraceful and very insulting that he would come and disrupt our celebration, play politics with it, and his message is so anti what we're trying to stand for in this community. And I'm very proud of what I see with blacks and whites and Latinos and Asians, everybody coming together. Mm-hmm. So his message now has lost its strength because people have woke up, they've seen what's happened with the police officers, the abuse, mm-hmm. the killing. Mm-hmm. And now people are standing up and saying, no, we're all in this together. We believe in justice, we believe in equal opportunity, and he can come here and spew all that hate that he wants to, but we're not listening to it.
Right.
So the sooner he can get out of town, the better, but we're gonna continue to celebrate. We're headed as a people, as a country, and we're going to celebrate the fact that people are coming together, and we're going to celebrate the fact that we're getting ready to make changes, positive changes that need to be made.
Okay. So now tell us a little bit about what your thoughts were when you heard that the president, originally he was going to come on Friday. He decided not to do that. He was here today. But he was insistent for a while, or at least people that were inviting him were pretty insistent, that he come here to Black Wall Street. What were some of your thoughts about that when you heard about the plans that were being made in order to try to make that happen?
My first thought is that he lost his mind. And it just showed me, reinforced to me how insensitive he is.
Right.
He can act like he's ignorant and doesn't know, understand, but I'm sure he had people around him that explained to him the significance of Black Wall Street and what it means to people.
Right.
And the pain we still feel from the loss and the generations that have come and gone that have had to deal with that in Tulsa even to this day.
Right.
So I believe he knows, and I believe he's just doing his usual dog whistle, saying that I'm going right there in the heart of Tulsa, Oklahoma, The massacre was fine. Screw Juneteenth. I'm Donald Trump, and if you're with me, I'm going to come with my law and order message. That, as he already said, if the protesters, anybody else cause any problem, it won't be like New York City or Minnesota or Seattle. Is that we're going to put them in their place. So that's what he's here for. Basically trying to send a message. I don't respect anything they've accomplished, and I'm going to let people know when I go there, my people are there. We're going to put those people in their place. That's how I took it.
Okay.
Totally insult.
Okay. You've been a city councilman in the city in the past for
Yes.
10 years, you said, correct?
Correct.
So you've been a resident here in Tulsa for
Over 40 years.
over 40 years.
Yes.
With that being said, and with knowing the history of this city, the message that Donald Trump is bringing right now, do you think that it is something that considers African Americans, or do you think that it is more of a detriment to African Americans, and why?
I think it's a detriment. When Donald Trump first ran and made his announcement,
Right.
coming down the elevators and talking about Hispanics, saying that they're rapers, they're murderers, and I'm going to build this big wall on the border of an allied country, a peaceful neighbor. I knew then what we were dealing with. When he did his birtherism with President Barack Obama, making him prove that he's a citizen, like his mother somehow decided when he was born as a little kid, is that I'm going to give him a name that people might not vote for.
Right. All right.
Bring him, sneak him in from Kenya, and then I'm gonna run him from president, 45 years from now. How ridiculous can that be? And then the Central Park Five,
All right.
They deserve the death penalty, and then it gets proved that they didn't even do it through DNA evidence. Everything he spews out is hate.
All right.
So yeah, when he comes here, and we're trying to make progress in Tulsa, we're trying to revitalize our community. We're trying to reach out to people to educate them on our history and where we're trying to go.
Right.
His message is completely counter to everything that we're trying to stand for as a community and as a people.
Right.
So I have no respect for him and no respect for his message. And I hate to say it, but I have no respect for the people who support him either.
Okay. So there's been a comparison in the past that Donald Trump is much like George Wallace was back in the 60s. And some of the other Southern governors that were really, they wanted to do everything possible in order to make sure that the civil rights movement did not move forward. Now, there's been a lot mentioned about Donald Trump's past, including when he was a real estate developer, his family's past in relation to that. All that being said, now that he is the commander-in-chief of the United States, do you think that he is in a position to make changes that are going to benefit all citizens, or do you think that he is more willing to just continue on the path that he's taken and really doesn't care about doing anything that's going to benefit citizens of the U.S.?
I think he's in a position that he could make changes if he wanted to. I don't think he wants to.
Okay.
It's clear to me that his message is only for his base.
Right.
And when he runs for re-election, I think his strategy is there may be a majority of the people who are against me, but I'm counting on my base to be enthusiastic. I'm going to keep feeding them dog meat, red meat, and they're going to be so enthusiastic that I can win enough of those electoral votes in those states that are going to be close that I can still win. I think that's his strategy. So he's not interested. He already knows he's not going to get too many black votes, too many Hispanic votes. The women, apparently, the majority of women are against him. But he knows that he has a rabid base. And that's what he's counting on, hoping that that'll get him through in this next election. Yeah, he has the power to do some things, but, going back to Charlottesville, there's good people on both sides. One side's having a peaceful protest, the other side's coming with AK-47s, making anti-Semitic, anti-racial messages, but there are good people on both sides.
Right.
The killing of George Floyd, instead of offering sympathy to the family that just lost a loved one, He's talking about the stock market and how George Floyd would be happy with the unemployment rate going down. Please. I mean, I sometimes wonder if the man is insane or sick. George Floyd got killed. He's not worried about a stock market right now or the unemployment rate.
Right.
But his insensitivity, he just doesn't care. He just doesn't. He has so much power to do good, but he has no interest in that because his heart, he just doesn't care.
Okay. Okay. One final question that I want to ask you. What would be your message, being a longtime resident of this city, being a person who served the city in elected office, and is seeking to do so again right now?
Yes.
What would be your message to Donald Trump if you had the chance to talk with him directly? What would you tell him about his visit here to Tulsa and about his re-election bid?
After I asked him to resign,
Okay.
I'd do that first. But I would tell him that any elected official, I'm saying that it's my experience as an elected official, you don't, I didn't win 100% of the vote. Some people supported me, some people didn't support me.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're in that position, you represent everybody. Even as a city council, I was a District 1 council, but I didn't just represent District 1. I was a Tulsa city council. I represented the whole city.
Mm-hmm.
So as a elected official in leadership, your responsibility and your job is to look at how can I rise everybody up. When I make my decisions, I've got to really think, is this going to be beneficial? Is it going to make a difference? Not just for the people who can vote, but for their children and their grandchildren,
Right.
and the generations that are coming. And if you're not interested in that, if it doesn't matter to you, if you don't care, then you're in the wrong position. Go back to real estate. Go back to just making money.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your real interest anyway, let us get real leaders in there who are going to fight 24/7 every day, saying, when I wake up in the morning, my job is to make things better in the lives of the people I represent.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Williams. We appreciate it. This is CJ Neal with the Oklahoma Eagle.